Assalamu alaikum. I'm Malik Hodge, an angel warrior of the Midwest and a messenger of the covenant. Representing the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals, the self-taught one, Masuman, who's given us the angel, the gospel of revelations with the angel key that gives us the understanding of the unsealed scriptures. This is Up Late Update with Malik Hodge on this 22nd day of August 2020. This is where we take current events and get an understanding of them through the Injil from the unsealed perspective, the unsealed Bible, giving you the understanding of how each topic fits with what's taking place in today's time from the perspective of the unsealed Bible. Let us get started. We're going to start with continued report. The monkeypox outbreak spreads to all 50 states. Monkeypox has now been detected in all 50 states. Health officials revealed Wyoming became the first state to report a case of the disease on Monday. Became to be the final state to report a case of the disease on Monday. The Wyoming Department of Health announced the case in an adult male in Rami County, which includes the capital of Cheyenne. More monkeypox. What public health reports want you to know. Public health representatives are currently working with the positive individuals to see if additional residents are at high risk of contraction monkeypox because of potential direct contact, because monkeypox spreads through close, intimate contact with. Do not believe the risk for the virus is now a higher concern for the local community or for most people in Wyoming. Wyoming Health Department state health official and state epidemiology Dr. Alexia Harris said in a statement said monkeypox does not spread easily like familiar virus such as influenza or COVID-19. Since the first case was announced in a Massachusetts patient in mid-May, more than 14,000 infected have been reported across the country as of Monday, CDC data shows. New York currently has the most infected, which with more than 2,700, followed by California, Florida, Texas, and Georgia, respectively, CDC data shows. So, monkeypox, now they're saying it's in 50 states. There's queers, gays, and transsexuals in every state, transgender rather. So, it was inevitable that it will reach all 50 states. You do have what they call a whole network, as they say, sex network. So it was inevitable. Just going to show that in this time that these viruses or new ones or new old reemerging viruses or diseases are popping up, and just something to keep y'all on. What's the angel shared that disease, all old and new, will be popping up and in this day and time. So that's that on that specific topic. We keep an eye on monkeypox. It's something that they constantly report on. They put it constantly stays in pretty much the headlines. And I guess that's a major milestone today. Wyoming, the 50th state, the last of the 50 states to have a case of the monkeypox. So all 50 states are carrying monkeypox at this time. For all you know. Our next topic. Okay. We're going to do this, then we'll go to that. Mass evacuation ordered, emergency declared in eastern Arizona. Flooding the old west town of Duncan is inundated as the nearby Gibby River has crested out on major flood state. Federal forecasters said the southwest is dangerous flooding Monday overwhelmed the old west town of Dugan, prompting mass evacuations and a local state of emergency. The mass evacuation of flood-prone areas in Dugan was declared early Monday by the Dugan Valley Rural Fire Department District, which listed more than a dozen streets in 720-person town as subject to order major Mayor Ann Thurmer declared the state of emergency shortly after noon. She cited rainfall since August 15th, declaring flooding an extreme peril to life and property. According to the declaration, Thurman formally asked the state for first responder sources in the afternoon. Updates the town said reconsider about the integrity of a century-old river levee that had been breached earlier Monday means that evacuation should continue to stay away. The Gila, that's what it is the Gila River, which runs through town on its journey from Gila Nation National Park in New Mexico to the Colorado River in Yuma, crested after 7 a.m. at 2.5 feet above what's considered its flood state, federal forecasters said. So, the flooding that they was expecting in Arizona and parts through Arizona, they called for the floods. They had flood warnings, and they knew the flooding was possible. Still, the flood waters are devastating, and when you have levees breached, the flood water is very dangerous, and the flood water will has the power to destroy or unlodge pretty much anything in its way if it gains the right force and speed behind it. And that's what's taking place. The levees are being breached. Water is moving through areas and causing large evacuations, and just doing exactly what it said it was going to do. I mean, you can brace, you can try to think, well, maybe it won't rain that much. You can't, determine the amount of rain, excuse me, that is going to fall. However, they're not. They can't even imagine how these how the storms are lingering and staying in the type of the amount of water that they're dropping. That so the whole event is unprecedented around the whole. It's an unprecedented event around the whole globe. This really was taking place. Now that topic goes into our next topic that continues. That's right, because that water or that flood is going into from parts of Arizona through parts of New Mexico. So parts of New Mexico is also being flooded, and also Dallas. Dallas streets and highways around Dallas remain waterlogged Monday afternoon after flash flooding struck the Dallas Fort Worth area overnight, leaving at least one person dead. Signs of flooding lingered even after the rain mostly cleared from the metroplex in Mesquite, southeast of Dallas. A body was removed Monday afternoon from a vehicle in a creek. Elsewhere, authorities conducted water rescues and evacuated residents from flooded areas. And cars remain abandoned, some packed on the side of the interstate, either flooded or damaged in crashes. Numerous highway ramps and lanes were shut down at the interstate. At the interchange of Interstate 30 US and 75, a trouble spot on good days. Flooding had traffic down to a trickle in one lane in some isolated areas. The rainfall total would be considered a 1 in 1,000 year flooding, a remarkable reversal given the dramatic drought that Dallas had focused that Dallas has faced for months. Severe rainfall gauges recorded more than 10 inches, a record-breaking 3.01 inches of rain was recorded. In 1 hour at Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, the downpour marked the latest such flood in the past few weeks across the United States. In 1 week alone, 3 1 in 1,000 year rain events occurred. Invading St. Louis, invading St. Louis, eastern Kentucky, and southwestern Illinois. So it moves on and is constantly moving through. These drought-stricken areas are being hit with massive rainfall. It said it rained 10 inches in Dallas in 1 hour. Poured. And that area is facing what they're calling, look to see. Haven't heard it named, so it definitely, if and when it hit landfall, it'll definitely, if it's named, I will bring it back up. The tropical storm that was moving through the Gulf, coming behind this storm that is moving through from the west or south. It's moving southeast from the west coast. So it is bringing a punch. The rain is severe. They're catching rain inches, record setting, and the water is falling so fast. It's just catastrophic because there's nothing that they can't even brace or get their mind fixed for the amount of water that is falling, the speed that is falling. So when it hits, it's definitely not going into the ground. That water is running and it's dangerous. And due to the drought, water is picking up speed, moving so fast that it can snatch the ground itself off and under you and keep on going and take everything right down the road with it. So you know how water is. It don't just it'll have everything floating with it. It'll carry it right off. So the storms, the water mounts that they were anticipating is pretty much like pretty similar to what the meteorologists reported. They said that they can't really tell you exactly how much rain, but they're even expecting more rain. They're expecting rain all the way up to Wednesday in these parts. So the amount of rain that they're receiving is unprecedented, and it's the speed that is falling. Like I said, the speed is, and it's like they're saying, really, you can't brace, or you kind of can't even put your mind on to understand how water works. Water works in a way that you can't. It's not like wind or that blows and moves. You can no wind can carry you, but that water, you can sit on it. It's that fluid is dangerous. So that's that on that topic. We'll cover the rest in our when we do our roundup. Okay, our next topic. Check our timing. Oh yeah, we're doing good. Oh yeah. Great on the timing. So this is our next topic is we're going to the Middle East. Let me see how we going. All right. Going to the Middle East, Hezbollah threatens Israel over maritime to IRGC amidst Major General Adnan Soleimani said Iran was successful arming its proxies on the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. Israel is still carrying out their Operation Wastebreaker. The operation that caused the 3-day clash earlier this month. And false Israel is still carrying out this Operation Wastebreaker, going through Palestinian areas, shutting down Palestinian companies and taking in many hundreds of Palestinian men or proxies or men capable of anything that looks like what they call a terrorist. So pretty much any Palestinian man that's willing or capable to stand up and be to carry out resistance to false Israel. So they've been locking men and young men and men up. So this is what Hezbollah, well, we're going to start with. This is Major General Adnan Soleimani. The Zionists have no, this is the IRGC's Major General speaking to false Israels. The Zionists have no safe haven in occupied Palestine. All parts of the land are within the reach of Palestinian resistance movements. Firepower, the top commander said in an interview with the official website of the leader of Islamic Revolutionary when Lebanon resistance movement Hezbollah is added to this equation. The the conclusion is the deployment of hundreds of thousands of missiles that are pointed at the Zionist regime. The RRGC commander stressed. He said the occupied West Bank has been armed against the Zionists. Lebanese is Lebanese President Hezbollah shares Lebanese whether a nuclear deal with Iran signed or not. If the Lebanese state was represented with state was presented, if the state is not presented with what it is asking for, we are headed towards, it says, calm weather. A nuclear deal is, whether a nuclear deal is signed or not, if Lebanon is not given what it's asking for, we are headed toward escalation. So the Lebanese president is saying that, this is the Lebanese Hezbollah is stating that they're going to war in the region regardless of the JCPOA. And the IRGC's Major General Major General Admin Salamine let it be known that false Israel doesn't have anywhere to hide. They said it's a Zionist state. Everywhere they go, everywhere they look around, they have rockets, hundreds of thousands of rockets facing it. So they're letting it be known that, they're gearing up for war. And Hezbollah is speaking about the maritime fuel. If they're not giving what they're wanting, however, false Israel said they are willing to work out an agreement on this maritime fuel. They're willing to negotiate with America. Running the negotiation with Hezbollah, and that they are willing to do some negotiating so they won't so things don't have to escalate. However, False Israel is sharing that if things escalate, that it's going to cause Hezbollah and the Lebanese people um, it's going to cost them. Basically, he said it's going to cost them their life because he said that they're willing to they're going to face a mass destruction situation. So that's on that. Also, um, this is about the JCPOA. Um, things are heating up with the JCPOA. America, Iran speaking out about the JCPOA deal as well today. And this is Iran's official speaking. The American government has not responded to the proposal of the European side. We cannot say that we have reached a nuclear agreement with until all issues are agreed upon. If Iran needs a agenda, surely the Americans and European sides need an agenda more than Iran's side. So Iran officials came out and said that America is stalling, and America has looked over and it started speaking to the other people, the other countries that have that are in the agreement, and the other countries. False Israel is totally against it. Said abandon it already. Abandon it. Don't even with it's too many loopholes. They don't want to go into it. Period. They want war. They want what Hezbollah want. They want war. False Israel want war. False Israel is already in a state of war, know it or not. They're already. That's why they're attacking all parts around. They're clearing present danger. They're all in Palestine, Palestinian parts, Palestinian lands, searching, seizure. That's what this whole Operation Wastebreaker is. What do you mean? What? Listen to the name, Wastebreaker. What's a? It's the what? The belt around your waist. The Wastebreaker. They're going after those that's right in the circle of false Israel, which will be their waist right there amongst them. So they're clearing them out. However, they're sharing. America is speaking with its counterparts, and the thing is with this is that no one's moving slower. It's not understanding what's taking place with how America's thinking. Now, if they know they're not going to willing to make the changes or accommodate what Iran is asking for, then by them knowing that they're not going to do it, knowing they already know their next move, so they're hesitating. And if they're hesitating, see, Iran sees this. That's why they're saying something, because the hesitation means they're preparing. Since America knows they're not going to sign it, they start to move and start to prepare for their next move before they return what they have to say. They have, because the inevitable is there now. They're either you sign or we go to war. So if the agreement is not going to be made, then America knows that they're not going to agree to it. So they're looking at the deal, and then they're going to respond and get the rest of their allies and everybody ready for to try to either strike first or make sure that everybody know that we're not going to sign this and we're going to have to go to war. So let's get ready. So that's what Iran is stating, that America is, they can see this. Then hold up, we haven't got a response back. Even if there's something else to speak on, or you don't like this or that, we haven't got any response. And Iran said, they're not even concerned with the deal. They don't need the deal. They didn't want the deal. America needs the deal more than they need it. So, from what you're seeing, is we're that much closer to the JCPOA not being re-signed, which is what the NGO have let us know far in advance, and that we've been sharing on a regular, that the JCPOA is not going to get signed and it's going to kick off the war in the Middle East. So let me check our time. Man. Okay. Which the war will be between Iran and Syria, which is titled Michael and His Angels. And that'll be Master Farah Muhammad, Iran and Syria. They will go to war with the Dragon, the House of Saud, Saudi Arabia, Britain and America, and false Israel. And the outcome is going to be the shock of the hour, because the outcome of this war is going to be Iran and Syria is going to remove the House of Saud. They're going to remove Britain and America from the Middle East, and they're going to siege and destroy false Israel. And that is going to be the shock of the hour, because no one is going to believe that Iran and Syria remove the House of Saud, remove Britain and America, and remove siege and destroy false Israel. That's just not even on their mind. That whole, they're thinking, they have their mindset of the Christians, the rapture, and the Jews, the false Jews, that God's going to come and redeem false Israel and save them in the nick of time and pull them out, and they're going to come out victorious. We'll see about that. They're not the true seed of Abraham, and this is what will be found out. The outcome of it, the shock of the hour, will let you know for sure who exactly is the true seed of Abraham, because on return to the promised land, they're never to be defeated or taken off of the land ever again. And by false Israel being defeated and destroyed, then you know for sure that they couldn't have been the true seed of Abraham. However, that's that. This is the abomination of desolation that we're speaking of, shock of the hour, and from the angel point of view or perspective, that is where we are in time, in today's time, in the real world. With that, I'm gonna bring this segment of update with Malik Hodge to a close. I thank you for watching. I'll be here at the same time tomorrow night at 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern, and 9 o'clock Pacific. And I'll greet you as I came in the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.